The hail came in on day 6 of their crossing, and I almost missed it. I was 3 hours into my watch rotation aboard Halston's Promise, running corridor transit through Keth 7 on a fuel consumption audit, when the charter monitor flagged a priority ping on Joint Emergency Logistics Band Orvith Charter 3. The flag was yellow at first, standard water resupply distress, and I watched it for the 30 seconds the system uses to assemble the full header before classifying. Then the header finished, the charter algorithm ran its deprivation assessment, and the flag went red. Mass casualty by deprivation, Article 11 provision, 9 vessels, estimated complement 4,211, water reserves at 11% of minimum daily requirement, day 6 of a projected 7-day crossing. I pulled the origin header. The hail was tagged to Imperial Relief Coordination Band Orvith 4, a band I recognized from the charter database, because I had flagged it myself during a routine monitoring update 14 years ago. The Imperial Administrative Consolidation of 2512 had folded the band into Earth's Joint Emergency Logistics Charter Monitoring Grid as part of a Corridor Management Handover Agreement. The Imperial Relief Coordination Office had been notified. Apparently that notification had not made it into every routing table in every ship in the Imperial Civilian Transport System. Somebody on that convoy had filed a water distress hail to their own relief coordinator on a band that had belonged to us for 14 years. I read the deprivation calculation twice. 11% of minimum daily requirement meant they had been rationing for at least 2 days before they sent anything. It meant there were 4,000 people on 9 ships who had already stopped drinking enough water to stay well, and who had spent 6 days assuming someone on their side of the corridor was listening. I called the flotilla together in 11 minutes. 3 water tankers off a resupply loop in Keth 6, a hospital carrier running an elective care circuit 40 minutes out, and 4 corvettes, including my own, pulled off audit and transit work. Article 11 of the Joint Emergency Logistics Charter gives the fleet officer discretionary authority to assemble a mass casualty deprivation response without command review. I used it. I filed the escalation notice to Keth Sector Command at the same time I gave the movement order, which is within the letter of the provision. Keth Sector Command acknowledged 4 minutes later with no comment. We crossed into Corridor Keth 7 on hour 3 of their day 7. I did not announce ourselves on the convoy band. I had comm specialist Vareth Solon transmit on Orvith Charter 3, the same band the hail had come in on, with a standard charter acknowledgement, flotilla inbound, estimated arrival, composition, charter authority. Short, flat, no ceremony. Then I set the water tankers on approach vectors for the 3 largest convoy vessels and put the hospital carrier in the center of the formation. The convoy marshal's reply came back 4 minutes later. Her name was Sarath Oven Kale, convoy marshal of the Ardent Passage, and the first thing she transmitted was not a question and not a greeting. It was a calm, careful statement of her convoy's current status. 9 vessels nominal. Drive systems green on 7, marginal on 2. Medical cases, 41, of which 6 were serious. Water reserve across all 9 vessels, averaged to 9% of daily minimum, down from 11 at the time of the hail. She spoke the way someone speaks when they have been holding their voice flat for a long time by choice. Then she said, "Your transmission is on Orvith Charter 3. We filed our distress on Orvith 4. I want to confirm we are speaking to the correct parties." I took that one myself. Orvith 4 transferred to our logistics monitoring grid 14 years ago, Marshal. You filed on the right band. We were listening on it. Silence for 17 seconds. In my experience, that kind of silence means someone is doing arithmetic. "We were told Orvith 4 was Imperial Relief Coordination," she said. It was. The administrative handover was in 2512. The band is on Earth's charter now. Another pause. Shorter. Our routing tables. We're out of date. Yes, that happens. I did not say. Your comms officer cycled through a stale index on day 6 of a 9-day ordeal and filed a water resupply distress call to a band that Earth has been monitoring for 14 years, and Earth's charter algorithm read it as 4,000 people dying of thirst and sent 8 ships. I did not say it because it was not useful, and because the arithmetic she was running was already doing that work for her. The first water tanker completed its docking approach to the Ardent Passage at hour 4. The transfer rate on a standard tanker of that class is high enough to replenish a vessel of the Ardent Passage's capacity in under 90 minutes. We had 3 tankers and 9 vessels. I had Solon stagger the docking schedule so no convoy ship waited more than 2 hours for contact. The hospital carrier deployed a forward medical team to the Ardent Passage immediately, with shuttle transfers to the 2 vessels carrying the serious cases. I ran the flag bridge quietly during the replenishment. The corvettes held formation around the convoy perimeter, not threateningly, just present. The way you want presence to feel when the people inside the ring have been alone for 9 days. The corridor was clear. It stayed clear. I filed hourly status reports to Keth Sector Command and received acknowledgments. Nobody asked me to justify the Article 11 call. Nobody was going to. On hour 6, Convoy Marshal Kale transmitted again. This time her voice had changed slightly. Not emotional, but less carefully controlled. The way a voice sounds when the arithmetic has finished and the person has decided to speak anyway. Commodore, I have pulled our comms log from day 6. My officer filed on Orvith 4. He was using the routing reference from our last maintenance cycle, which was 3 years ago. A pause. I am looking at a 14-year gap between when the band transferred and when we are having this conversation. Yes. Your charter algorithm flagged us as mass casualty by deprivation. It did. Article 11 requires a response. I assembled one. Another silence. Then, we were 3 corvettes and 2 tankers and a hospital carrier short of dying, and we filed on the wrong band, and you sent 8 ships. I looked at the flotilla composition on my board. 3 water tankers, 1 hospital carrier, 4 corvettes. 8 ships. She had counted correctly. 9, I said. The Ardent Passage's second medical shuttle makes 9, if you're being precise about it. That got me a very long pause. We did not file this distress with Earth, she said finally. No, you filed it on Orvith 4. Earth has been on Orvith 4 for 14 years. The charter does not require the filing party to know who is listening. I heard her exhale. Not a laugh, not a cry. A very careful breath that had been sitting in her chest for a while. What is the correct procedure, she said, for thanking a fleet that answered a call you didn't send to them? I thought about it. Not long. File an incident report, note the routing discrepancy, recommend the routing tables be updated across your convoy class. And the fleet. The fleet is doing its job. The job is done when your people have water and your medical cases are stable. I watched the replenishment telemetry. The second tanker was 61% complete on its second convoy vessel. The hospital carrier had cleared 4 of the 6 serious cases to stable. After that, we resume our audit. A very short pause. Your audit. Fuel consumption audit, Keth 7 corridor. We were already here. The silence that followed was not 17 seconds. It was longer. When she came back, her voice was the flattest I had heard it. Noted, she said. I will file the incident report. Include the band transfer date. Your fleet management office may want to push updated routing tables to the rest of the convoy class. I will. Good. The replenishment completed across all 9 convoy vessels by hour 9. Medical cases, 41 treated, 6 previously serious now stable, 0 fatalities across the convoy. Water reserves restored to full minimum daily requirement on every vessel. The hospital carrier left 1 forward team in place on the Ardent Passage for the remainder of the corridor crossing as a precaution. I filed the Article 11 completion report to Keth Sector Command and resumed the fuel consumption audit. The convoy marshal did not transmit again before we cleared the corridor. I did not expect her to. The incident report she filed arrived at Keth Sector Command 14 hours later. It was thorough. She documented the routing discrepancy accurately, recommended a routing table update for the entire convoy class, and included the full band transfer history for Orvith 4. In the notes field, she had written 1 line below the standard form language. It read, "The call was not filed with Earth. Earth was on the band. Earth came." I do not know who reads the notes field at Keth Sector Command. Probably no one. But Orvith Charter 3 is still on the active monitoring list. It was on the list before this convoy crossed Keth 7, and it will be on the list for the next one, and the one after that. The charter does not require the filing party to know who is listening. It only requires that somebody is. We finished the fuel consumption audit at 0340 the following morning. The corridor was quiet and the numbers were unremarkable. I filed the audit report, signed off the watch, and told Solon to hold Orvith Charter 3 on the primary monitoring suite for the next rotation. Standard procedure. We were already in the corridor.